What's going on, world? And welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, your favorite personal, professional development, self-help podcast. Thank you guys for joining the show. We are here each and every single Thursday. So, first, got to start off, pick up where I left off last time. I'm very happy that the Lakers have won the championship. If you follow the podcast, you know that in my teenage years, I was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Still a fan, even in his passing away. So when he passed away in January of this year, I was very much rooting for the Lakers to win the chip. And COVID-19 happened, and the season got derailed, and the bubble situation happened. And even though it's been today's Wednesday, so it's been like 3-4 days since they officially won, I'm still happy that they were able to bring the championship home for Kobe Bean. And I mean for themselves too. They win the championship because of all their hard work and accolades, but it just means something to me that the team that I spent watching Kobe Bryant, put his body on the line and do all the great things that I've seen him do in the Laker uniform. It was great to see that happen all over again. So I'm in good spirits right now. Let me also say this, take the time to say, get out and vote. If you can vote early. Right now, a lot of states are opening up. You could be able to early vote. Maybe if you don't trust the ballot system, send in your mail-in votes. There are sites where you can go in person. So maybe you can't go Monday, but you can go Wednesday. Maybe you can't go Wednesday, but you can go Tuesday. You can't go Tuesday, but you can go Friday. Get out and vote. Exercise your civic duty. It is so important. So I want to challenge each one of my listeners that's listening to this before November 3rd. I want to challenge you to go out to vote. And if you can vote early, go vote early. I will be voting early myself because I just want to, personally, I just prefer to vote in person. So if I got to stand, even if that means I got to wear a mask for 2 hours, stand in line, do what I got to do. I had a brother that actually early voted today, and he said that he stood in line for about an hour and a half. Early voting in Tennessee started today. And so he stood in line, he said, for an hour and a half. So if you got to stand in line, I want you to plan, just if you have to, plan to block out a whole day because you don't know what situation is going on in your specific area. So I want everyone to make arrangements, clear your schedule, and do what you got to do to go out and vote. So I want to start there, and I want to definitely hit that point home. We are less than 4 weeks out from the next election going through. So on a city, state, and federal level, make sure your vote is counted. So, but let's go ahead and get into the show. So today's topic comes from a movie, actually. And if you are a Netflix buff, like my wife is, see, the thing about my wife, I love her so much. But the thing about my wife is, if you got a good trailer on Netflix, as soon as she pops open, she's gonna watch a trailer. Like any like short little trailer, she will sit down and watch it. And if people are talking about it on, the timeline, she'll look into it. So she's like, Netflix is probably like an easy target. Netflix and Hulu, easy targets for my wife to be able to pick up and say, ooh, let me mark that. Let me check that out. Let me see what's happening. She will watch it. Like even if to me, if it looks bad, in my opinion, if it looks bad, she will hands down click it, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see it, and we'll sit down and watch it, whether I'm there or not. Now, if it's something that I am interested in, she'll have to hold off. So, because that's Netflix cheating. Some of y'all who married know about that. Now, the movie that we are talking about today is the movie Power. Now, has no relation to Power, the TV show, but Power, the movie featuring Jamie Foxx, is a movie that is about a drug specifically that actually gives people temporary superpowers. And so I'll let you guys go explore it, especially guys that, you like superpower stuff, you like action and stuff, you like that kind of stuff. Definitely encourage this movie. It was a good movie. Let me start there. But today we're going to talk about a very specific scene. And one of actually, it was Jamie Foxx's character. So Jamie Foxx's character and the other main character, they were, I won't allude to where they were at, but they were having a conversation. And Jamie Foxx was talking about, in his character is, went through the military. They used the drug to experiment on on him, as a test subject, all this good stuff, blah, blah, blah. But something that he said was, the reason why I went into the military is because my power and skill set was in aggressive fighting behaviors. So the military was the best vehicle that I was able to use that asset and make it into a superpower. And so he then challenged the main character to not only find her superpower, but to be able to put it in a vehicle that she can use it. And so for the character, her superpower was rapping. And he was like, rapping? You can't rap. And so he dropped a bar on her, like off the top of the dome. I'm talking about flow sick with it. Now, I don't know if she could really rap or not, but in that movie, she had the superpower of rapping and flowing. She had skills. Don't know if she can rap in real life, but in the movie, that absolutely was the case. And so he was like, ooh, you tight with it. That's your power. I need you to put that power in a vehicle for you to succeed. And at the end of the movie, she ended up doing that. And that's not even a spoiler alert. Like, so go ahead and watch the movie. So, the scene that I'm talking about. I can't put it in the podcast clip because I don't want to be, copyright, anything like that. So you guys are going to have to go borrow your aunties, borrow your friends, borrow your boy. However you can go watch the movie, go to Netflix, watch Power. It'll be a picture of Jamie Foxx. Press play. Thank me later. Now, what we're talking about is your power. How do we not only discover your power, but how do we use it? How do we find the vehicle to put our power in for us to succeed? Not just to just survive, but also to have a thriving life so that we can make our own version of the good life, which is the premise of the show. Now, I want to talk about a little bit how I discovered, my power, if you will. And it started back from just this really curious exploration. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I knew that I just wanted to do something, even from a young age. I knew, like, I had no desire to be a bum and stay at home and just live off of my parents' riches and all that good stuff. I had no desire to do that at all. And so I was just curious about, well, what do I want to do in life? So it first started off with, okay, what are the clear options? So they tell you, doctor, lawyer, athlete, all that good stuff. So right now, I was young, so I didn't know how tall I wanted to be. So, I idolized Kobe. I studied Michael Jordan. I studied, LeBron. I studied how they played the game. I studied the game and how to be successful at it. But, I can't control, me growing to be 6'6" or me growing to be 7 feet. I can't control that at all. And based on my genetics, the probability that I was going to grow exponentially, it just wasn't likely. So I had to kind of face reality with that real quick. The next one that was marked off the list was everything related to science. I absolutely positively hated science. Me and science just couldn't get along. Like before college, the highest I ever made on science class, you name it, chemistry, biology, physical science. I didn't even try physics. I just left that. I don't want no parts of that. The highest I ever got was a B in the class. Highest ever got a B. So, and I just wasn't interested in putting myself through that type of torture. Now, for those of you who are listening to this, who took up the call to become a nurse, a doctor, a scientist, whatever, I commend you. Salute to you. I didn't want to put myself through that. So anything doctor, lawyer, science, meta, all that was out the window. And I didn't really like school that much, especially at a young age. Like sitting in the classroom and listening to a teacher, professor all day wasn't my idea of fun. So anything that was extended like curriculum, so lawyer, which was like 3 to 7 years, depending on what track you go, that was off the table too. So doctor, off the table, lawyer, off the table, right? Right. So funny enough, my mom told me that the first thing that I said I wanted to be was a negotiator. I know, crazy, right? So a negotiator, my desire to become a negotiator, funny enough, came from my watching of this show called Big O. It is an anime about a negotiator who mans this giant robot and fights other giant robots and saves the day. So in my young mind, I thought that all negotiators get a giant robot and, can save the day, save the city. And it's so funny that was my first job that my mom said that I wanted to be. So I just found that funny. But as I looked into what a real negotiator did, I saw that negotiator is kind of the person that goes between two individuals and makes a deal. So now, at the time, I thought that the extreme version of negotiator is a person who, when there's a bank robbery and if things are at a standstill, the negotiator has to go in to the robbers and talk with them, blah, 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 and has the potential to get shot. Whoa, wait a minute. I don't want no parts of that. No. Let me take that off the table, right? So, but there's still this example, this idea of helping people still intrigued me though. So I knew that I wanted to do something that was helpful. And I had this fascination with basketball and thought, well, maybe I could, be a high school coach, which means, okay, let me be a teacher of some sort, right? Definitely not a science teacher because I was like, that's out. But maybe a math or English teacher. History was probably out. Arts, different specific things like that was probably out. And so I was, I felt like I was settling though. I was like, I really don't have a passion for teaching though. Like I want to help kids, but I don't want to use like the vehicle of school to use it. I have really no desire to become a principal. I have no desire to become a superintendent. Like that wasn't my jam. That wasn't what excited me about life. And that just wasn't the vehicle I wanted to do. But I still wanted to help people. And so one day, my mom comes home from this conference that she went to, because she went to various conferences throughout the years. And she came home one day and she had me take this test. And I believe to this day, that test was a version of the Myers-Briggs personality test. And after taking that test, it described me perfectly. It was cool. And under that particular version, it was a link that said, people that have this, I don't even know what the numbers are, the letters are, because, it has 16 different breakdowns. But it says a person that has this breakdown usually does these different things. And the choices were teacher, author, writer, psychologist, therapist. And so the teacher one obviously wasn't not familiar to me, but the one that stuck out to me was really like the therapist and psychologist. I was like, and that made me think about what it is that I was really good at. And so that was the first step that led me to where I am now in helping people through therapy, training, and coaching. And so when we talk about exploring your superpower, you might not be able to take a test. You might not be able to take a test. Now, I don't think you should rely on a test to tell you what you could be good at. However, I do think that you should expose yourself to as many things as you possibly can. So the first step for those of you who are looking to explore your superpower, first you got to explore what's out there. Take the time to visit these websites, look at Job Corps, look at colleges, look at majors, look at different jobs, look at different people that are doing a whole bunch of different things that look interesting to you. Because for me, this idea of helping people in some kind of way that maybe is on a one-to-one realm, maybe mentoring, maybe like that thing is what intrigued me, because I knew what I didn't want to do. I knew I didn't want to do science. Absolutely, positively not. I knew I didn't want to be in school for an extra long period of time. Not my idea of fun. But I said to myself, okay, I want to help people in some way, shape, or form. Let me explore the different ways to do that, right? So first, recap. First, I want you to explore what is actually out there that you could see yourself enjoying, that pique your interest, right? And so the next thing I want you to do is I want you to figure out what kind of skills do you have? What kind of skills do you have that you actually like doing now? Now, the skills are representative of things that, general people are doing. So let's say, for example, I consider myself skillful in the area of cooking. If you give me a couple seasons, like if you give me just a dish, I might could figure it out with or without the recipe. Because of just my background knowledge, my experience in the kitchen, I can whip up some things skillfully. Am I Gordon Ramsay? No. Am I Bobby Flay? Absolutely not. Am I going to be the next Iron Chef? Mm-mm. But I consider myself decently skilled in the ability to prepare a meal, right? At least in the limited facet that I have. I'm not a master chef, but I am skilled. And so the things was like, for me, in my process was, okay, the skills of helping people, talking to people, what jobs, you follow me here? What jobs are attached to this skill of talking and helping people? So I was looking at teaching. I was looking at negotiating. I was looking at counseling. I was looking at mentoring. I was looking at those different jobs that had the skills that required the skills that I desired to do. So what skill set do you have that, specific jobs are looking for? Okay. Now, here's where the superpower comes in. The skill becomes a superpower when you add your level of genius to it. When you add your level of genius to it, right? What do I mean, Cameron? You're talking about genius. What are you talking? What do you mean by genius? So I've talked about my dad on the podcast before, and my dad's profession is fitness, right? So he has a fitness business that he's had for 15 years. Before that, he did, what is it called? Wrestling. He did wrestling. He did some bodybuilding competitions, and he has lived fitness for a majority of his life, like from personally building his body up to helping people gain, lose, and prepare their bodies, and the nutrition side of it as well. Plus, he was a physical therapist, right? And so his skills was in fitness, but the genius is what separates you from everybody else that does the same skill as you. Okay? So your level of genius is what separates you from everybody else. So for me, my level of genius was not only helping people, but helping people overcome their problems and go to that next level in their life. My level of genius is to work with people in a small group setting or in a one-on-one setting. In a one-on-one setting, I'm very powerful. Group setting, I'm great. Large setting, I'm good, but I shine, especially in a small group of people. In a team setting, that's where I thrive. That's all me all day. We're gonna figure out how to bring this together, and we're gonna make something great. That's my superpower. My skill set is people, soft skills, speaking, training, counseling, coaching. That's a skill set that I can develop. Now, your skill set, you can sharpen, you can, become greater at, but there is a handful of things. Maybe for you is one thing, but there are some things that you have a level of genius in doing. My dad's level of genius was also people. His ability to motivate, and I wish I could I could put a clip right here of one of his classes, because he'll say stuff in the middle of his classes that just bring energy to the workout. So for example, he'll say bring those knees in, burn those cheeses. He'll come up with a rhyme that didn't make sense before you heard it, but when he said it, it made sense. And then when he's interacting with people, he knows how to make them feel energized, prepared, have the desire to keep going and keep pushing. That was his superpower. And when you combine that with his fitness acumen, that superpower took him to a whole nother level. And so for you, I want to challenge you to figure out what skill set are you good at, and then what intangible are you great at? Let me give you another example for those of you who aren't people. There are those of you who are very good at something that is kind of concrete. So let's say, for example, administration. My mom is skill set. If you give her something concrete, you give her the parameters and you give her goals, she knows how to make something better. What I mean by that, if you give her writing, you give her a plan, you give her a project, she is able to concretely look at it and come up with a trajectory to make it go to a higher level. That's her gift. That's one of her superpowers. Now, for some of you, might be fantastic people. And your superpower, your gifting might be motivational speaking. Your gifting might be working with children. That ain't a superpower I got. We need people like you. Let me thank you in advance, because working with kids is a special level of patience and superpower and genius at that. And so some of you have an artistic level of genius, right? Your ability to put words together in a flow of a poem, a flow of a song, and maybe even artistic expression of video in photography. There's something, the genius that you bring to the table is what God gives you, that you can work on and enhance. Now, skill set, of course, you can sharpen your skills, you can learn new things, you can practice, you can get repetition, but the level of genius, skill set plus genius equals superpower. The level of genius is what God naturally has given you. That you can then, that he gives to you to improve, that he gives to you to work out, mold, shape, form, and grow. Skill set plus genius equals your superpower. Now, your job is to figure out, what vehicle do I want to use this superpower in? What vehicle do I want to use this superpower in? This will take some time. This will take some reflection. But there are several vehicles for you to use your particular superpower. Now, if you want to use that in the traditional work setting, that's fine. If you want to explore, if you want to explore entrepreneurship and, put it in the vehicle of, let's say your genius is cooking. Let me tell y'all something. There's a taco truck here in Memphis. I'm not going to shout them out here because we shouted them out on our YouTube channel. So go check out, if you listen to this, go check out Live, Laugh, Love, Lace Taco Tuesday vlog. There's a taco truck in Memphis. They are exercising their superpower in making Mexican food. Tacos, burritos, quesadillas. Go there. What they producing is genius. The skill set is making food, preparing food. The genius is their razzle dazzle on it. The way that they prepare the food, the environment that they create around the food truck. They got music playing. They got lights. They got the Mexican drinks. I won't say Mexican drinks. The Spanish drinks. They got the razzle dazzle. All that. They provide a phenomenal experience that creates their superpower, and they put that vehicle in entrepreneurship. Now, they very well could have said, okay, let me do this for somebody else. Let me go work for somebody that is doing that. That's fine too. If you're satisfied with that, if you're cool with that, that's great. Go do that. And maybe let me say this, you don't even have to use it to make money. You could use it to serve a nonprofit. You could use it to serve a mentoring program. You could use it to serve the church, right? I don't want to limit it. I don't want to limit it to like money, because money, we all need money. Money is essential for living. Let's call it what it is. Now, we have to be smart when we're creating our version of the good life, in saying that, you know what are the things that I can do to make my life better? Not what job can I get? What gift, what superpower has God given me that can go out and produce something? That's what should be the essential part of creating your good life when it comes to professional development. What gift has God given me, and what vehicle can I put it in to create the good life that I seek and that I desire? Right? For me, that's using my skill set of working with people and my genius of maximizing and helping people reach their potential. So the vehicles I'm using: counseling, coaching, training, consulting, and now a podcast. So for you, you need to figure out what can I use my gifts for that will go out and produce something? What vehicle can I put it in that will make a great result? If I have athletic ability, what vehicle, maybe the NBA, maybe the NBL, maybe even a coaching situation, maybe a training situation, what can I use my physical skill set, my creativity, my dreams, my desires, the ideas that God gives me, the innovative things, the creative spin on things that God has given me, what can I do with those things? And what vehicle can I put them in to create my good life? These are the questions that you should be asking yourself when saying, what is my power? What can I do? Now, not trying to be super deep, but these are the questions that you must be asking yourself when you are trying to take your life to the next level and create a good life. Because for me, I'm not trying to just, punch in at a job and just collect a check. I'm trying to live a fulfilling life. And I have a feeling if you're listening to this, you do too. You want to create a good life, but I need you to use what's in your hands. Each one of us has been given a superpower. Now it's time for you to use that superpower and put it in something that can bring that good life to you. And I don't want you comparing your superpower to other people. Let me really bring that home. Don't compare what you're doing to somebody else's gift. I'm not trying to compare myself to Bobby Flay. I'm not trying to compare myself to LeBron. I'm comparing myself to other trainers so that I can get better at what I do. Not in the form of, oh, I need to do it this way. I need to do it. No. I need to say, ooh, he's real sweet at telling a story. He's real sweet at connecting with the audience in this way. How can I learn from that and implement that and take my genius to another level? How can you use what has already been done? And chances are, what you're good at, somebody else is good at it too. So maybe you can use their lead and take tips, targets, trace what they're doing. I tell all my clients that are music, that desire to go to the next level in their music career, I tell them all the time, Tobe Nwigwe. If you never heard of Tobe Nwigwe, look him up. Rapper, killing the game, authentic, started out, consistently dropping music. You can consistently drop out music. Boost your following up. Each one of us has a vehicle that is waiting for our superpowers to fuel it. And when we find it, that's when you can start using it to build your version of the good life. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions, hey, hit me up. Hit me up on LinkedIn, hit me up on Instagram, and let's talk about it. Now, I need y'all to do me a favor. Drop a comment, leave me 5 stars on iTunes, and rate me high on all podcast platforms so we can get this information, get this good life to more listeners. Can y'all do me that favor? I really appreciate it. All right, y'all. But until next time, I want you guys to share this with somebody who really needs it and keep pursuing your version of the good life. We're coming back to you each and every single Thursday. Until then, we will see you next week.